Hello everybody, and welcome back to Astromech Productions, a Star Wars and LEGO Star Wars YouTube channel. So guys, we have a month and a half left till Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker comes out, so I decided that it was time for us to start our build up. For the next 8 episodes, I'll be doing purely TRoS related content. Make sure you stay tuned for some awesome videos, and today we're going to start with the trailer breakdown. We start with Rey on a forest planet training. We know that the Rise of Skywalker takes place a few years after the events of The Last Jedi, so she's probably been training during this time, honing her skills. A lot of people have been saying that this helmet is Leia's from Return of the Jedi, but I don't think so. The colouring is off, and there has been about a 40-year gap between these two events, so surely the helmet will be in worse condition. I do however believe that she is being trained by Force Ghost Luke, or maybe Leia. This next scene, I am certain, takes place on the Death Star. If we look at the pillar behind Rey, it is identical to the one Ben Kenobi uses to turn off the tractor beam in A New Hope. The walkway is in the same place, and the ring around it is also similar. For me, this does not confirm which Death Star this is, as I believe the Empire would have reused designs from the first Death Star in the second. Then we see Finn looking through some binoculars, saying, "The Force brought us together," probably talking to Rey. Poe then says, "We're not alone," and we see the Resistance in their base. Lando stands in the centre of the crowd, maybe telling stories of his time in the rebellion. The Resistance has grown massively during these few years, from maybe 24 to 40 or 50. Interestingly, behind Lando we see a Mon Calamari. We know that Leia went to see the Mon Calamari for help after the Battle of Crate, but they turned her away. However, it's possible that they have now joined up. Then we finally get our first shot of Rose, confirming that she is indeed alive and well. It looks like the Resistance are in some sort of battle here as well, or that they are preparing for them. Poe says, "Good people will fight if we lead them." He is standing next to an X-Wing that appears to have orange and black coloration, so maybe he customised a new one. Now, this next scene shows a Corellian Corvette flying over a forest planet, perhaps the same one that we saw at the start of the trailer. However, it cannot be the Tantive 4, as Vader destroyed that after he raided it, but it is certainly of the same line of ships. There is then a shot of Rey standing on what looks like the Death Star. She says, "People keep telling me they know me. No one does." A soaking wet Kylo Ren then emerges from behind a passing wave, saying, "But I do." This feels to me as though they are talking through their Force connection, which we know is still active. The reverse script Kylo then adopts gives a nice callback to his fight against Luke in The Last Jedi. Next, we get First Order TIE fighters flying towards an iceberg, but what's interesting is that there's no reflection of them in the water. Also, if you look closely in the corner, there's obviously a settlement. You can see the smoke rising from the chimneys. Maybe there is someone or something there that the First Order wants. This is then one of my favourite moments in the trailer, the Emperor's Throne. We know that this is the Emperor's Throne, as one of the early concept art images for Return of the Jedi shows this is his throne instead of the one we end up seeing. The throne has a really menacing feel to it and looks ancient, maybe it's some sort of Sith relic. I believe that Sidious may use this to assist in his return. At the back we can see some sort of engraving, like an image or letters, perhaps a Sith spell of some sort. Next, a Super Star Destroyer emerges from under the ground, maybe the Emperor's personal ship. There is then an amazing shot of a great many ships, all presumably in the Resistance. We have obviously the Falcon, the Ghost, probably piloted by Jason Syndulla, son of Hera and Kanan, who would almost certainly be Force sensitive. We also have 2 medical frigates, a Hammerhead Corvette, the Eravana from The Force Awakens, an old Jedi Defender class frigate, a U-Wing, the Halo from Star Wars The Clone Wars and the Aftermath novels, a Resistance bomber, a Resistance transport, and a whole host of other cool ships. Then we see Rey and Kylo Ren battling on the same strip of the Death Star we saw earlier. Next, a skid speeder rides across the waves, and there is a really cool look at the rim of the Death Star firing dish. Now we get quite an emotional sequence. C-3PO is in a workshop, and Poe asks him what he is doing. He replies, "Taking one last look at my friends." We can see that he is being tinkered with by Babu Frick, a member of the Spice Runners of Kijimi, led by Zori Bliss, who is also standing in the corner. This makes me believe that they are on Kijimi at this point, as Rey, Poe and Finn are all wearing big coats, and Kijimi is an ice planet. I think that this is where the TIE fighters were headed earlier in the trailer. There has been a lot of speculation about the B1 battle droid in the corner, but I don't believe that it really means much, as we are in a droid workshop, so it would make absolute sense just to have some Clone Wars junk lying around, and Babu Frick looks quite experienced, so I don't think that it is out of place at all. Finn, Poe and Chewie are then seen running down what looks like a First Order base, shooting stormtroopers. Leia and Rey hug in the same scene as in the teaser from April. The next scene, I believe, takes place on Pisana, as the speeder is exactly the same as in the Pisana Speeder Chase LEGO set. The shot after this also corresponds with the LEGO Star Wars set, as we see a souped out Y-Wing, which I believe to be the quote-unquote Resistance Y-Wing, shooting at a Star Destroyer. Next, Resistance members charge down a Star Destroyer on the Space Horses, showing that Jannah has become an integral part of the Resistance. Now we see Kylo Ren and Rey having a standoff in the Emperor's throne room, almost confirming for me that this is the Death Star 2. The next scene has got a lot of buzz, and fans have been saying that it is proof that Kylo Ren and Rey work together as they destroy Vader's helmet, but I don't think so, as if you look at their feet, they are pointed towards each other, rather than the plinth the statue rests on, like they are dueling, and the helmet got accidentally destroyed. In Rey's left hand, she holds a dagger, maybe the dagger of Mortis. It might be that she has to use it to kill the Emperor, as he has become so powerful in the dark side. This scene is a different angle of the Space Horse scene from earlier in the trailer, and we get a glimpse of two TIE daggers exclusive to this movie, being chased by an X-Wing and a B-Wing, so we now have the full Battle of Endor Rebellion ship set. Next we see Rey walking away from a laughing Emperor. For the final scene, Rey, who has her ignited lightsaber, is crying. Luke's voice says, "The Force will be with you," and Leia finishes off by saying, "Always." So guys, I hope you enjoyed this trailer breakdown. If you spotted anything that I missed, please feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. I apologise that I didn't post a video last week, but I've been away so I didn't have time to make one. Don't forget to tune in next week for another amazing video in our Rise of Skywalker build up, and I'll see you next time on Astromech Productions.